Let me ask you something that most men never stop to consider. What if the very first 10 minutes after you open your eyes are quietly building or quietly destroying everything you say you want? What if the life you desire is not waiting for you at the end of some long road, but is instead shaped in the silence of your bedroom before the world even knows you are awake? Stay with me, because what I am about to share with you will permanently change the way you see every morning you are given one. The morning is a mirror. Most people wake up and immediately stumble into the same trap, rushing without intention, reacting without thought, drifting without a single clear sense of direction or purpose. They surrender the most powerful window of their entire day before they even realize it is open. But here is what I want you to understand deeply. What if the first 10 minutes of your morning carried the power to rewire your entire future? Because they do. This one daily decision, this one small but intentional morning choice, holds the power to fundamentally transform your mindset, reshape your identity, and determine the course of your success. The reason is simple but profound. The way you begin is the way you become. And when you master a deliberate and intentional morning ritual that prepares your mind to lead, rather than follow, you are no longer just living your life. You are commanding it. Your future does not begin at some distant milestone. It begins the precise moment you open your eyes each day. And right now, I am going to show you exactly how to command your mornings and completely reshape the trajectory of your life. If I could follow you for just one morning, I could tell you with remarkable accuracy where your life is heading. Not because I possess any special wisdom, but because your morning is a mirror. It reflects your discipline, your sense of direction, and your deepest desires with complete honesty. Most people rise in pure reaction. They wake to the harsh sound of alarms and the weight of immediate demands. They allow the world to knock loudly on their door before they ever think to knock on the door of opportunity themselves. But the winners, the truly successful and purposeful individuals in this world, they rise with clear and deliberate intention. Every great and enduring structure in history was built upon a solid and reliable foundation. Your morning is that foundation. What you do in the hours before the world sees, you will ultimately determine how the world responds to and treats you. The first hour after you open your eyes each morning is not simply a unit of time. It is a powerful and revealing statement about who you truly are. It declares either that you are in complete control or that you are being controlled by everything around you. When you step out of bed each morning, you must step directly into your purpose. You must deliberately and consciously reject the noise that the modern world throws at you relentlessly. No news, no social media, no gossip, no outside voices, only clarity, only focus, only clarity. Only focus, only the quiet but powerful voice rising from within you that says we are not here merely to survive. We are here to conquer everything we were created to achieve. Do not drift, do not hit the snooze button and slide back into unconscious sleep. The moment you hesitate and delay, you hand your personal power directly over to fear. You silently tell the day that it owns you completely. But when you rise with genuine fire in your spirit, when you speak your goals aloud with conviction, when you write them down on paper, when you take even one small but purposeful step forward, you take full command of your direction. And that command becomes your unwavering compass for the entire day ahead. The morning does not create your power from nothing. It reveals the power that already lives within you. And when you use those morning hours correctly and intentionally, that power multiplies into something extraordinary. You do not become unshakable by what you do occasionally when you feel inspired. You become unshakable by what you commit to doing first, every single day without exception. Think of your thoughts as fertile soil. Think of your focus as the water that nourishes what grows there. Think of your consistent action as the sunlight that transforms potential into reality. When you give your mind these three essential elements every single morning, your life will produce results and abundance that go far beyond what you currently believe is possible. So ask yourself this morning with full honesty, who do I truly want to become? And then begin becoming that exact person before you sit down to your first meal of the day. 2. the decision of doing one hard thing first. There is a profound and life-changing shift that occurs the moment you do one genuinely hard thing first each morning. It does not have to be dramatic. It simply has to be something you do not particularly want to do, something your comfortable mind resists and pushes back against. But the moment you push through and complete it anyway, the resistance loses its grip on you entirely. This is the hidden secret weapon that virtually all high achievers share and consistently use to their advantage. They do not sit around passively waiting for motivation to arrive before they begin. They go out and actively create their motivation through deliberate and disciplined action. And they do it before they feel like it, before the mood is right, before the conditions are perfect. They act first and let the feelings follow. The mind is exactly like a physical muscle in this regard. If you consistently train it to surrender to comfort and ease, it will abandon you completely the moment a real crisis demands strength. But if you train it repeatedly to obey the call of strength over the pull of comfort, it will become your most powerful and reliable ally in everything you pursue. So what is your one hard thing each morning? Is it standing under cold water and choosing to breathe through the shock of it? Is it sitting in complete silence when every part of you wants distraction? Is it rigorous physical exercise when your body wants to rest? Is it filling one full page in your journal when your mind would rather stay blank and comfortable? Whatever it is, choose it with full awareness. Commit to it with absolute resolve, and then do it with your maximum intensity and focus every single morning without excuse. Because understand this clearly, it is never truly about the task itself. It is entirely about the identity that completing that task builds within you day after day when you do something genuinely hard every single morning, before the world has even demanded anything from you. You powerfully remind yourself of exactly who you are. You are a person who does not run from pressure, who does not shrink from difficulty, but who rises and strengthens under the weight of both. Most people reach for the snooze button and shrink a little more into passive living each morning. You rise deliberately and sharpen your edge instead. Most people wait for the right moment to begin. You initiate before the moment arrives. That is your decisive edge. That is the specific energy that permanently separates a powerful and purposeful life from a passive and reactive one. When the very first decision of your day is a clear personal victory, every decision that follows will naturally align with that same standard of excellence. So identify your hard thing, face it without flinching, finish it completely, and then watch with quiet amazement as the rest of your days begin to organize and align themselves with the courage you demonstrated in that first critical moment. 3. Speak life into your future. Words do not merely describe the world. They actively create it. And the first words you speak each morning are far more than simple sounds produced by your voice. They are seeds planted directly into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. They shape your emotional state, define your ongoing story, and determine the actual steps your feet will take throughout the day ahead. Most people wake up each morning and immediately speak words of defeat and resignation into their own lives without even realizing what they are doing. I am exhausted. I am already stressed. Here comes another long and difficult day. And without any further explanation needed, they proceed to build a life that perfectly and faithfully matches that exact language. But you are genuinely different from that pattern. You wake up each morning and you declare your strength out loud with full conviction. You say with your own voice, "I was created specifically for this moment. Today I build real and lasting momentum in my life. I generate genuine peace and powerful energy in every environment I enter." This is not self-deception or wishful thinking. This is deliberate and intentional programming of your most powerful mental asset. Your subconscious mind operates without the capacity for judgment about whether something is literally true in this moment. It simply accepts and builds upon whatever you repeatedly feed it with genuine emotion and consistency. When you speak life into your future, morning after morning, your physical body begins to follow that direction. Your daily habits align with that declaration, and ultimately your entire destiny begins to shift toward it. Begin each morning with clear and confident declarations of who you already are and who you are actively becoming. Speak them with unwavering faith, not with lingering doubt. Deliver them with genuine fire, not with paralyzing fear. Stand before your mirror and speak with the authority of a true leader. Speak like someone who has already arrived at the destination they are building toward. Speak with the absolute refusal to allow your past circumstances or your past failures to dictate what your future holds. This practice is not arrogance or delusion. It is a deep and personal agreement with your own highest vision, your most deeply held values, and the victory that you are building through your daily choices. Before the world has any opportunity to speak its fear and limitation into you each morning, you go first. You speak your purpose into the atmosphere. You declare your direction before anything or anyone else gets to define it for you. Your voice is the very first voice your soul receives each morning. Make absolutely certain it is a voice worth listening to and following. 4. Move your body to command your state. Your body is not merely a vehicle that carries your mind from one obligation to the next. It is a powerful trigger mechanism for your mental and emotional state. When you deliberately move your body with intention and energy, you fundamentally shift your entire internal state. You awaken the warrior that lives inside you. Have you ever consciously noticed how slumped and collapsed posture consistently produces a defeated and passive mental state? How shallow, restricted breathing reliably produces anxious and scattered thinking? Your physical physiology does not merely reflect your psychology. It actively writes it and shapes it in real time. This is precisely why every single morning, without exception, must include intentional physical movement. Not merely conventional exercise for its own sake, but genuine full engagement with your own body and its capacity. Stand tall with your spine completely extended. Breathe deeply and slowly from your belly. Walk at a brisk and purposeful pace. Train with intensity. Stretch with deliberate attention. Allow yourself to genuinely sweat and push through physical resistance, because when the body moves with intention, the brain immediately aligns with that energy. Mental fog clears away. Natural energy flows freely through your system. Sharp clarity rises to the surface, and your sense of personal confidence increases dramatically and measurably. Do not sit and wait for the perfect workout conditions or the ideal exercise routine before you begin. Start completely and immediately with whatever you currently have access to. Even a brisk, purposeful walk outside in the morning air for 10 or 20 minutes is more than sufficient to shift your entire state from passive and disengaged to powerful and fully present. Winners move their bodies with deliberate intention each morning. They do not remain seated in hesitation or lounge in comfortable limitation waiting for inspiration to strike. They rise, they move, and they set an internal tone so powerfully strong that weakness and passivity simply do not feel welcome in their day. Always remember this principle. Motion creates emotion directly and reliably. If you genuinely desire to feel entirely different about your life and your possibilities, you must first choose to move differently with your body. Make your morning genuinely sacred by making your body vigorously active. Within it, your future self, looking back from the vantage point of everything you will build, will be deeply grateful for the momentum you chose to create beginning today. Your morning movement is never ultimately about physical fitness alone. It is fundamentally about reclaiming your personal freedom and your power each day. So rise, move with full intention, and take complete command of your state. 5. Command your mind before the world does. There is a moment, quiet and fleeting, yet extraordinarily powerful, that presents itself to you in the breath, immediately after your eyes open each morning. In that sacred instant of pure awakening, your mind exists in a state of complete openness. It is vulnerable, highly impressionable, and not yet fortified against the demands of the outside world. It has not yet been touched by the relentless chaos of daily life, not yet pulled in competing directions by the endless demands and distractions that will come. It is precisely in this sacred and precious sliver of time that the most important choice of your entire day must be made. Will you command your own thoughts in that moment, or will you surrender and allow the world to command them for you? Most people simply do not recognize or appreciate this extraordinary window of power that opens for them each morning. They rise and instinctively reach outward immediately toward phones, toward news feeds, toward any external source that will define and fill the moment for them. They willingly flood their still unguarded minds with the voices, crises, and agendas of the outside world. Politics, financial markets, neighborhood gossip, the urgent problems of people they have never even met. The mind, still delicate and completely unprotected in those first waking moments, is rapidly overwhelmed and colonized by these external burdens and concerns. Worry immediately settles in like an uninvited guest. The destructive habit of comparison quietly begins its work. The perceived urgency of other people's demands and problems steadily overtakes the genuine peace of the individual's own clearly defined purpose. And before the sun has fully climbed above the horizon, they have already lost the most important battle of the day, the inner battle for control of their own mind. Their thoughts are no longer authentically their own. They have been involuntarily conscripted into fighting someone else's war. Not a single word has been spoken aloud in their quiet bedroom, yet their silence has already fully surrendered the entire day to outside forces. But there exists another category of individual, the rare ones, the intentionally few who understand with complete clarity that the morning is not merely the beginning of a day, but the launch pad of their entire destiny. These remarkable individuals understand deeply that true leadership, the kind that meaningfully shapes lives and creates lasting movements in the world, does not begin in public with applause and recognition. It begins in private silence, behind closed doors, before anyone else is watching or judging. It begins in the stillness of the bedroom, not in the noise of the boardroom. It is built in thought and intention first, not in reactive noise and motion. These rare individuals command their minds with full authority each morning. They rise with deliberate intention rather than allowing themselves to be driven purely by reaction to external stimuli. Instead of instinctively reaching outward toward the world for definition and direction, they reach deeply inward toward their own values and vision. They speak affirmations that firmly anchor their identity to what truly matters. They vividly visualize the exact person they are actively becoming, not someday in a distant future, but right now in this present moment. They breathe slowly and with conscious awareness. They sit in genuine stillness and allow clarity to rise naturally. They move their bodies with purpose to fully awaken their strength and presence. They consistently choose clarity over confusion and purposeful direction over passive drifting. The first 10 minutes after waking each morning are not trivial or inconsequential in any way. They are quite literally everything. These critical minutes establish the complete rhythm and tone for every hour that follows them throughout the day. When those precious opening minutes are filled with personal power, clear direction, and expansive vision, the entire remainder of the day naturally aligns itself with purposeful action and meaningful progress. But when those same minutes are consumed by distraction, corrosive doubt, or unnecessary emotional noise from outside sources, the entire day devolves into pure reaction. It becomes nothing more than a long series of helpless responses to other people's priorities and agendas. And that is no honorable or fulfilling way to spend the one life you have been given. You simply do not have the luxury of waking up weak. Not in a world that moves this fast and makes this much constant noise competing for your attention and your energy. Not when everything you are building requires your complete and focused best each day. You must take absolute ownership of that first critical moment each morning before the world rushes in to claim it for its own purposes. You must decide with full conviction and clarity what matters most to you, not what is trending on someone else's feed. Not what others expect from you this morning, but what your own deepest spirit knows with complete certainty to be true and right and important for your life and mission. And you must make this decisive choice, not occasionally when you feel motivated, but every single day as a non-negotiable commitment. Repetition carves character into stone. Consistent discipline cements belief into the foundation of your identity. So write your thoughts down each morning, even when they feel scattered and incomplete. Speak your vision aloud, even when your voice is not yet steady with full confidence. Move your body with intention, even when it resists and pushes back. These are the unmistakable declarations of a genuine leader in the making. These are the defining acts of someone who is actively and courageously becoming their best and highest self. You do not sit and wait for external success to validate and confirm your chosen path. You walk your path every single day because you believe absolutely and completely in your own becoming. And if you yourself do not yet fully believe in your own destiny and your own capacity for greatness, how can you reasonably expect anyone else in your life to believe in it either? If you fail to guard that precious and sacred moment of mental awakening each morning, the world will rush in immediately and hungrily to claim it for its own agenda. The world will eagerly tell you who you are, what you should value, what you should do with your time, and how you should feel about your life. But you were not built for that kind of passive slavery to outside opinion and external demand. You were built and equipped to lead. And every leader, without any exception whatsoever, must first demonstrate the discipline and the courage to lead themselves. Command your thoughts each morning because every single thought you allow to take root becomes a belief. And every belief you hold shapes your behavior, and your accumulated behavior builds your ultimate destiny. This is not a collection of self-help tricks or another passing trend in positive thinking. This is the serious and demanding practice of genuine self-leadership. And self-leadership is the first and most important door that opens toward lasting freedom in every area of your life. No person in the world can give this to you as a gift or a favor. You must actively seize it each morning through your own deliberate and consistent choice. Every morning is a personal meeting between you and your mind. Do not miss that meeting. Do not show up late or allow someone or something else to speak in your place at your own most important appointment of the day. Show up fully present. Speak with complete clarity and conviction. Remind yourself with full confidence who you truly are and exactly why you are here on this earth at this particular moment in history. The headlines of the world can wait a little longer. The messages and notifications can wait. Your purpose and your calling simply cannot afford to wait any longer. This is your mind. This is your mission. This is your moment. Lead it decisively before you allow the world to follow it. Lead yourself first, and all else will follow in proper order. 6. Write it down or lose it forever. The moment you first open your eyes each morning, your mind behaves very much like a powerful and completely uncontrolled fire hose. It is explosive in its force, relentlessly full of raw and unfiltered potential energy, and entirely without direction unless you deliberately give it one. Thoughts flood your consciousness in rapid succession before you have even fully registered that you are awake. Ideas rush through your mind alongside worries, vivid memories, clear intentions, and sudden brilliant flashes of inspiration. And if you do not act quickly and deliberately to capture these thoughts and ideas in physical form, they will vanish as completely and silently as morning mist evaporating under the rising sun. Ideas that are never committed to paper do not simply pause and wait patiently for your return. They become ghosts, present but entirely without substance or power. Goals that are never written down in clear and specific language do not remain goals at all. They dissolve quietly back into vague and powerless wishes. Desires that are never given clear and precise form and direction do not maintain their motivating energy. They blur and soften into mere distractions that pull you in multiple directions without moving you decisively in any single one. But within this challenge lies a powerful and practical secret that every genuinely successful and purpose-driven individual throughout history has understood and consistently applied. They write not later in the day after the world has already made its full mark on their thinking and their energy. They write early, before the day has the opportunity to impose its own agenda and its own noise upon their minds. They write not because the act is always convenient or comfortable in those early morning hours. They write because it is absolutely necessary for them to function at their highest level. They write not with the ambition of producing beautiful or polished prose. They write with the singular and practical aim of achieving precision and clarity, to bring definite structure and form to the swirling storm of thoughts and ideas rising within them, to command the natural chaos of their waking mind before that chaos has any opportunity to take command of them. Writing in the early morning hours is not an activity reserved for people who identify as writers or literary individuals. It is a fundamental practice of mental leadership and self-mastery available to every person who chooses to take it seriously. 5 focused minutes, 10 deliberate minutes. That is the complete investment required to meaningfully change the entire trajectory of your day and ultimately your life. Begin simply by writing down what is already alive and present inside you in that early quiet hour. Write what you are genuinely thinking. Write what you are honestly feeling. Write what you most deeply want from your life. Write what you fear might be holding you back. Write down specifically what you know with complete certainty that you must do. Clarity does not arise from continued thinking alone. It is born in the concrete act of writing, in the physical contact of pen, moving deliberately across paper. Writing is a mirror held with complete honesty directly in front of your inner world. It transforms mental fog into clear and workable form. It slows the relentless rushing of your thoughts and creates the genuine space and quiet needed to hear your own voice with real accuracy and understanding. Writing performs the remarkable alchemy of taking what is invisible and formless and making it visible and structured. It is not merely passive reflection on what already exists. It is not merely passive reflection on what already exists. It is active refinement of what is becoming. Every single page you commit to writing is a personal covenant with your own future. Every word you choose to set down is a deliberate and consequential choice about who you are and where you are going. When you put your pen to paper with intention, you send a clear and powerful signal directly to your subconscious mind. You declare with unmistakable clarity that what you are thinking and building genuinely matters. You are providing essential structure and direction to your spirit. You are affirming to yourself with complete conviction, this is who I am, this is precisely what I value and hold sacred. This is what I am actively and purposefully building with my life. Your mind is a living and dynamic garden, and writing is the skilled and attentive practice of gardening it with full care and intention. It methodically removes the persistent weeds of doubt and confusion before they can take deep root. It delivers precisely the right nourishment to the seeds of your vision and your purpose. It transforms scattered and fragmented emotional energy into organized and actionable thought with a clear direction. When you write consistently and honestly, you reclaim complete and sovereign control over your own mental landscape. You shift decisively from being a passive reactor to outside events into being an active and intentional creator of your own experience. You stop wandering without direction and begin walking with a clear and meaningful purpose that you yourself have defined. Consider the great and transformative minds that came before you in history. Abraham Lincoln, who scratched his most important speeches onto scraps of whatever paper he could find at hand. Thomas Edison, who filled notebook after notebook with sketches of ideas and observations and insights. Marcus Aurelius, who penned his personal meditations day after day with complete honesty and discipline, not for public consumption or recognition, but purely for himself and his own growth. These men of extraordinary achievement understood a truth that modern individuals too easily and too expensively forget. The human mind simply cannot be relied upon to accurately preserve and retrieve what the hand refuses to record. Do not entrust your most important goals, your most powerful insights, your most sacred intentions to the fragile and selective mercy of your unaided memory. Write them down without delay. Make them real and concrete and visible to your eyes. Then watch with genuine wonder as your life begins naturally and powerfully to organize itself around the specific words and visions that you committed to paper. The goals you clearly articulate in writing become the specific and actionable plans you actually follow through on. The gratitude you express in writing becomes the deep and sustainable peace you genuinely feel. The problems you name and examine clearly in writing become the solutions you actively discover and implement. What you do not write, you ultimately do not write. You ultimately do not remember with sufficient clarity. What you do not remember with clarity, you do not act upon, and what you do not act upon with consistency, you do not ultimately become. A person's life is shaped not by the volume of thoughts that pass through their mind each day, but by the specific thoughts they take the time and discipline to anchor permanently in writing. And writing is that anchor, so begin simply and begin immediately. Take up your pen with determination. Open your notebook to a fresh page. Sit for a moment in the quiet before the day begins. Write one honest line of truth about yourself or your life or your vision, and then write another. As you continue this practice faithfully each morning, you will begin to feel a profound and unmistakable internal shift taking place. You are no longer a person who drifts through their days. You are a person who directs them with clear purpose, no longer purely reactive to whatever the day delivers. You are now genuinely and powerfully intentional in how you meet it. This is the quiet and unassuming beginning point of all genuine greatness in a human life, not public applause or dramatic inspiration, not perfection of form or eloquence of expression, just a few minutes of honest and deliberate quiet, a steady and determined hand, and a small number of completely honest words committed to a physical page. Write your way into real clarity about your life. Write your way into your deepest and truest purpose. Write your way into the personal power that is rightfully yours. Begin with complete honesty and write your way into the greatness you were created to achieve. 7. Gratitude is your greatest leverage. If you sincerely desire to multiply your daily momentum and increase the natural power of your forward movement, do not begin from a position of focusing on what you currently lack. Begin instead from a clear and honest recognition of what you already abundantly possess. Gratitude is not a soft or sentimental emotion suited only for gentle and comfortable hearts. It is a sharp and supremely practical strategic weapon available exclusively to strong and disciplined minds willing to wield it consistently. It centers you completely in reality. It grounds you firmly in what is genuinely true and good about your present circumstances. It continually reminds you with absolute accuracy that you are not beginning from a place of nothing. You are beginning from a foundation of genuine abundance. And when you begin each day feeling genuinely full and complete within yourself, the world loses its ability to make you feel diminished or insufficient. Consistent gratitude practice fundamentally changes the entire internal atmosphere of your mind. It rewires your habitual perception of your circumstances. It shifts you decisively from a suffocating mentality of scarcity and lack toward a liberating orientation of genuine sufficiency. It moves you from the disempowering illusion of not having enough toward the practical leverage of deep and honest appreciation for everything you do have. Without the daily practice of gratitude, your natural thoughts inevitably spiral downward into complaint and corrosive comparison with others. With it, your energy returns consistently and reliably to creation, contribution, and forward-building momentum. And here is the foundational truth. You must accept and internalize fully. You simply cannot build anything truly great or lasting from a position of constant grievance and resentment. You must build exclusively from a position of genuine inner strength. And truly practiced gratitude is one of the purest and most reliable expressions of that strength available to you. In the quiet and still moments of your morning, before the world has begun making its daily noise and its usual demands on your attention, pause for just one focused moment. Name with full conscious awareness 3 specific things you are genuinely grateful for in your life right now. Speak them aloud so your ears hear your own voice affirming them. Write them down so your eyes see them in physical form. Reflect on each one of them with genuine depth and appreciation, as though you are holding a rare treasure carefully in your open hands. These 3 things need not be large or dramatic. The simple and steady fact of breath filling your lungs with life, the presence of real strength in your body to do meaningful work, a roof that provides reliable shelter and safety over your head, the genuine love of people in your life who care about your well-being, the remarkable and never to be taken for granted reality that today offers you yet another complete and unrepeatable opportunity to move forward. Do not underestimate even for a moment the genuine and transformative power of this simple daily practice. It is not a mere pleasant habit or a superficial positive thinking exercise. It is a form of deep spiritual alignment with the deepest truths of your life and your blessings. When you begin your day from an authentic place of real appreciation, you gain access to a source of strength and energy that runs far deeper than ordinary ambition or willpower alone. You activate a genuine and sustainable joy that does not depend on external circumstances remaining perfect. You create a state of mental abundance and wealth that empowers rather than diminishes you. You remind yourself with powerful clarity and consistency that you already hold tremendous and real value within yourself as a person. And from that strong and steady foundation of genuine inner wealth, you pursue all your outer goals with authentic confidence rather than with desperate and anxiety-driven grasping. Those individuals who radiate quiet contentment and inner peace become natural and powerful magnets for opportunity and meaningful connection. People are instinctively drawn toward those who do not complain endlessly, who do not grasp desperately for what they have not yet earned, who do not beg the world around them for constant affirmation and validation. People are drawn deeply and consistently toward those who affirm and validate themselves from within, and the daily practice of genuine gratitude is the living and authentic voice of that self-affirmation. Gratitude does not represent the extinction of your hunger for growth or your ambition for achievement. It is the deep inner strength that feeds and sustains that hunger over the long distances required for real success. It does not diminish your ambition or make you complacent. It fuels and purifies your ambition. It transforms the quality of your motivation. Because from a foundation of genuine gratitude, you no longer chase success out of inner emptiness or fear of inadequacy. You pursue it from a place of inner fullness, of clear and worthy purpose, of a genuine desire to contribute something meaningful to the world around you. You are no longer chasing to complete yourself because you already understand that you are fundamentally and entirely whole. The pursuit is no longer about proving your worth to a skeptical world. It is about expressing your gifts and creating your best work with complete freedom and joy. Most people charge directly into each new day without any meaningful pause or reflection. They leap from bed immediately into their accumulated burdens and responsibilities, from the instant of waking directly into the spiral of worry and obligation. But you will do something entirely different and more powerful. You will pause, you will breathe, you will reflect with genuine honesty on your blessings. And then, from that place of centered and grateful awareness, you will rise with real perspective and undeniable strength. That is your competitive edge. That is your daily act of personal discipline. That is your consistent and powerful return to your own natural center of personal power. Do not wait for something dramatic or exceptional to happen to you before you allow yourself to feel genuine gratitude. Gratitude is not a reactive emotion that follows good fortune. It is a proactive and disciplined practice that consistently and reliably creates the conditions for good fortune to find you. It is not a mood that descends on you when circumstances are favorable. It is a mindset, a way of seeing and interpreting your life. It is a spiritual muscle of the highest order that absolutely must be consistently and intentionally exercised every single day in order to remain strong and effective. Gratitude is the specific and practical practice of holding your blessings consciously in your open hands rather than allowing them to slip away unnoticed through your inattentive fingers. It is how you consistently protect your inner peace when the inevitable storms of life arrive at your door. It is how you remind yourself again and again with absolute conviction that you have already successfully overcome many significant challenges and battles in your life. You are not empty and depleted. You are fully equipped with everything you need. Begin each morning with this intentional practice. Do not allow yourself to complicate it into something you cannot consistently maintain. Do not allow yourself to complicate it into something you cannot consistently maintain. Do not allow yourself to make it feel optional or easily skipped. 3 real blessings you are holding right now. Make this your non-negotiable daily ritual without exception. Gratitude is not your final destination or the place where your growth ends. It is your daily launch pad for everything you are building. It does not soften or eliminate your hunger for more and better in your life. It sharpens and focuses that hunger more precisely than anything else can. It does not prevent you from continuing to climb toward your goals. It gives you the specific and sustainable strength required to ascend to higher levels than you have ever reached before. When you genuinely live from a foundation of consistent gratitude, you are not chasing your goals from a place of hollow emptiness. You are creating from a place of genuine fullness. You are no longer merely a seeker of what you do not yet possess. You are an active and responsible steward of the abundance that already surrounds and fills you. And from that powerful and grounded position, every goal becomes genuinely reachable, every vision truly possible. The world ultimately bends not to those who complain about their circumstances, but to those who command their energy and attention through the disciplined and consistent practice of gratitude. Begin there every single morning. Anchor yourself firmly to what is already working, already present, already genuinely yours, and then go forward with full power and build everything else that your vision requires. 8. Set one clear target for the day. Most people greet each new morning by immediately and frantically rushing into the attempt to do everything at once. They glance over an impossibly long and disorganized list of accumulated tasks. They try simultaneously to juggle every one of them in their mind at once, and they consistently end each exhausting day feeling deeply unsatisfied and strangely empty despite all their frantic activity. The tragic irony is this: they did enormous amounts of work throughout the day, yet they accomplished remarkably little of what truly mattered. Movement without clear direction is pure chaos. And chaos is the fundamental and consistent enemy of genuine meaningful progress. Real power does not come from simply doing more and more things. Real power comes from doing precisely the specific thing that matters most in this particular moment. Real power is found in focused precision of effort, and every genuinely powerful and productive day begins with a single foundational question answered with complete honesty and clarity. What is the one thing I must accomplish today that will actually and meaningfully advance my mission forward? Your energy each day is genuinely and strictly limited. Your ability to maintain focused attention is fragile and easily depleted. These are among your most precious personal resources, not to be carelessly scattered or wasted on trivial concerns. When you scatter these resources across too many simultaneous directions, they lose their natural potency and power. But when you deliberately aim and concentrate them, they become an extraordinary and unstoppable force. You must therefore train yourself consistently to stop waking up into the disorienting noise of 100 competing priorities and start waking up with a single clear and specific focus. Begin each morning by identifying with full clarity your one non-negotiable target for the day, not 10 possible targets, not even 5. 1. Write it down in clear and unambiguous language. Speak it aloud so your own voice commits to it. Visualize it in your mind as already completed with full vividness and emotional reality. This single objective is your specific daily assignment. This is your precise strike point for the day. Everything else in your schedule is background noise until and unless this one central objective has been achieved completely. When you wake up each morning with this level of absolute clarity about your single most important target, the world loses its power to pull you in 100 competing directions simultaneously. You stop spending your hours in helpless reaction to whatever appears before you. You spend them directing your effort and energy with deliberate and powerful intention. Your daily choices become dramatically simpler and clearer. Your personal standards of action become noticeably sharper. Tempting distractions genuinely lose their appeal because you possess something more powerful and compelling than distraction. You have a real and worthy mission. A person who wakes up each morning with a genuine mission cannot be easily moved from their path or tempted by every shiny distraction that presents itself. They know with complete clarity which single opportunity matters most right now, and they pursue it exclusively. The most genuinely successful individuals in every field are never the ones who simply do the greatest volume of work. They are consistently and specifically the ones who identify what matters most. and then relentlessly do that one thing first, before the noise of the day begins in earnest, before the world interrupts their focus with its urgent but unimportant demands, before urgency successfully overrides genuine importance in their attention. They strike early, and they strike with full deliberate intention on what actually moves their mission forward. Set your target with specificity. See it with sharp mental clarity. Break it down into its specific required action steps, and then begin working on it immediately. You do not need to conquer the entire mountain in a single day. You need only to take the single next step upward with your full effort. One clear win. That is the complete and sufficient requirement to begin building genuine momentum, and momentum is ultimately everything in the pursuit of any significant goal. One meaningful win builds authentic belief in your own capacity. That genuine belief generates consistent and disciplined action. That consistent action produces real and measurable results. And those results compound and multiply over time into the kind of greatness that endures. So each morning, in the quiet before the world makes its first demand on your attention, ask yourself with complete seriousness, what is my single win today? Not a list of chores, not a dozen competing distractions, but one powerful and purposeful step directly toward the center of your most important vision. What specific action will move you meaningfully closer to where you are determined to go? What single accomplishment will allow you to honestly call today a genuine victory? Do not confuse being perpetually busy with being genuinely effective. Busyness is one of the most seductive traps available to the human mind. It flatters and comforts the ego, while quietly and systematically betraying the actual mission. Your true and worthy goal is not to fill every available hour with activity. It is to fulfill your specific purpose through focused and intentional effort. And that fulfillment begins each morning with the disciplined act of choosing your one clear win. 9. The transforming power of morning stillness. Before the noise arrives, before the meetings begin accumulating on your calendar, before the errands and obligations and relentless daily demands assert their claim on your time and attention, you must lay claim to one absolutely sacred and non-negotiable thing for yourself each morning. Stillness. 10 deliberate and protected minutes, that is the complete and sufficient investment. 10 minutes of chosen silence. 10 minutes of slow and conscious breathing. 10 minutes of intentional connection to something higher and deeper and more permanent than the daily pressures and demands that will come. This time is not an indulgence or a luxury available only to people with easy lives and light schedules. It is a fundamental necessity for anyone who is genuinely serious about performing at their highest level and living their fullest life. This practice is not designed for idle or passive people. It is specifically designed for and most powerfully transformative in the lives of the most intentional and ambitious individuals. Stillness is not laziness wearing a spiritual disguise. It is the most demanding and most rewarding form of genuine leadership available. It may well be the highest and purest form of leadership that exists, because it is the specific and demanding practice of completely mastering yourself as a person before you make any attempt to engage with and influence the day and the world around you. Each morning, before you open your door to the waiting demands of the outside world, open the deeper door to your own soul with full and honest attention. Before you review your list of obligations to others, check your own internal alignment and your connection to your own deepest purpose. Sit in genuine and complete silence. Breathe with full and conscious slowness. Listen with real patience and openness to what your heart and your conscience are attempting to communicate to you. Pray if prayer is your practice and your source of strength and guidance. Meditate if that is the method that brings you into contact with your deepest self. Reflect. Journal. Do whatever specific practice it takes to bring yourself back into genuine alignment with your own inner peace. Because peace is not something you can discover in the external world around you. It is forged and maintained entirely within you through disciplined and consistent inner practice. Most people launch themselves from their beds each morning directly onto the battlefield of the day, completely unarmed in the most important sense and entirely unready for the challenges that will come. They meet the inevitable chaos of daily life with equal or greater chaos already present in their own minds. But you must be different from this pattern. You must be different from this pattern. You must be deliberate in a world that rewards and celebrates constant reactivity. Stillness is your most important armor each morning. It shields you effectively from the overwhelming noise, from the manufactured urgency, from the constant external pressure that tries to define your worth by the speed at which you can react and produce. In a civilization that has become genuinely addicted to perpetual rush and constant stimulation, the deliberate choice of stillness is a powerful act of personal rebellion against the forces that seek to control your attention and your energy. It is your clear and unmistakable daily declaration that nothing external to you will be permitted to dictate your internal state and your emotional experience, that your inner peace is absolutely not available for negotiation with the world's demands, that you will not be moved or shaken by the winds of circumstance because you have taken the time and made the effort to root yourself deeply like a mountain that stands unchanged through every storm. Vision of lasting importance is never born in a state of constant motion and reactive noise. It is born in genuine quiet and stillness. Real wisdom is never shouted or broadcast. It is whispered to those rare and patient enough to sit in the silent spaces that very few people dare to enter. Stillness is where you meet and learn to trust your own intuition. It is where you encounter your own deepest conscience and your clearest sense of right direction. It is the specific place where your next genuinely right move becomes unmistakably clear. It is where sound strategy is born from genuine clarity and where panic and confusion permanently lose their grip on you. 10 focused minutes can shift your entire day's trajectory in ways that no amount of frantic activity can match. 10 minutes of slow and deep breathing can regulate your entire nervous system, bring your scattered attention back to its center, and sharpen your mind to its natural level of keen clarity. 10 minutes of genuine connection to your deepest purpose and your strongest values can successfully override and neutralize 10 full hours of accumulated external pressure and stress. It is never about the duration of your stillness practice. It is entirely about the depth and the quality of your engagement with it. Give yourself this gift each morning with full generosity. Guard it with fierce and absolute commitment. Allow no conversation or notification to interrupt it. Allow no other obligation to claim it before you have completed it. This is your daily private meeting with your own mission and your deepest purpose. This is your most sacred and essential morning ritual. Before the world attempts to drown out your own voice with its relentless noise, you must first and deliberately sit in the quiet where your own voice speaks with complete clarity. Before others place their demands and expectations on you, you must place your own clear direction and intention within yourself as your foundation for the day. The calmest and most centered minds consistently and reliably make the sharpest and most effective decisions. The quietest and most intentional mornings produce the most powerful and lasting victories. This is not abstract philosophy. This is not abstract philosophy. This is practical and measurable daily performance. Every champion in every field of genuine achievement has a disciplined routine of regular personal solitude and stillness. Their extraordinary strength and their remarkable consistency do not arise from external noise and constant activity. They arise from disciplined and repeated centering, from the regular and protected practice of choosing stillness before voluntarily engaging the inevitable storms of the day. Do not rush headlong into your day like a person who has no choice. Rise into it with full deliberate awareness and conscious intention. Do not allow yourself to react impulsively to the first stimulus that arrives. Respond thoughtfully from your own grounded and centered position. Do not spin in confusion and indecision. Stand completely still for those 10 crucial minutes and allow clarity to rise naturally within you, like the morning sun. From this place of genuine inner peace and groundedness, you will carry yourself differently through every hour of your day. You will speak to others with real weight and authority. You will make choices and take actions with clear and purposeful intention. Other people around you will sense and feel this difference in you, even when they cannot precisely articulate why. Stillness is not the absence of power or the absence of meaningful movement. It is the complete and full presence of power in its purest and most sustainable form. A quiet and steady commanding power that requires no performance and no proof of itself. It simply is what it is, steady and unshakable, like a great lion resting in the warmth of the morning sun, completely unbothered by the small noise and activity around it, completely unshaken in its natural authority until the precise moment when its full strength is genuinely called upon. So each morning, without exception, step deliberately into this sacred space of stillness. Allow it to hold you in its quiet strength. Allow it to shape and refine you. Allow it to whisper back to you the essential truths that the noise and busyness of the world constantly tries to make you forget. You are not rushed. You are not behind the pace of someone else's timeline. You are not defined or measured by what you accomplish in a single day. You are defined by the person you are choosing to become, one morning at a time, through these quiet and courageous daily decisions. And who you are becoming is shaped more deeply and permanently in these precious moments of chosen stillness than in any other practice you could adopt. Protect this time with everything you have. Practice it with consistent discipline and full seriousness. And from that deeply rooted and grounded place, rise each morning with the complete confidence that the day ahead bends in your favor because you have already won the most important battle of all, the one that happens in silence. 10. Decide who you will be before the day decides for you. You must decide. Every single morning before your feet make contact with the floor, and before the world begins its relentless attempt to define and shape you, you must make the most important decision of your day. The world will not wait politely for your permission before it begins trying to label you, categorize you, and pressure you into a convenient mold that suits its purposes and expectations rather than your own. But you are not a passive product of random circumstance. You are a powerful and active force of personal choice. And every single morning, in the moments before you fully engage with the day, you hold the extraordinary power to define your own direction, set your own energy, and declare your own identity on your own terms. Ask yourself each morning with complete clarity and genuine personal courage, who do I need to be today in order to become the person I am committed to becoming permanently? This is not a small or trivial question to be answered casually and forgotten. It is not abstract or impractical in its implications. It is the fundamental cornerstone of genuinely intentional living. It is your daily identity decision, and its effects will echo through and shape every single action you take and every single choice you make throughout the hours that follow. Will you choose to be courageous in your interactions today or merely cautious? Will you be fully present with what matters most or perpetually distracted by what is merely urgent? Will you live and move with clear and powerful purpose, or drift without direction through the available hours? Will you show up as a true servant leader who creates genuine value for others, or merely as a self-concerned observer of other people's efforts? These are the precise crossroads at which you stand each morning before the day begins. And the specific identity choice you make at that crossroads will not merely shape your experience of today. It will, through the accumulation of many such daily choices, shape the entire course of your destiny. People far too often make the serious mistake of allowing their temporary feelings and moods in the morning to decide their identity and their approach to the day. When they feel tired, they act as weak and depleted people act. When they feel afraid, they act as small and timid people act. They allow their emotional weather report of the moment to dictate who they are and what they are capable of, but the greatest and most effective individuals throughout history have known with complete certainty that feelings and moods are not reliable leaders. They are followers. They follow the direction set by clear and compelling vision. They follow the consistent example of real discipline. They follow and align with the identity that you consciously and deliberately choose each morning, not the identity you passively inherit from whatever circumstance happens to be present. Your vision of who you are becoming must function as your compass each morning and throughout your day. Your specific and vivid picture of your own highest self should actively guide your thoughts, set the tone of your words, shape your physical posture and presence, and direct the quality of energy you bring to every interaction. This is not a performance or a pretense for the benefit of others. This is genuine and serious preparation of your complete self, mind, body, and spirit, to rise to the actual level of the life you have decided you deserve and are committed to building. Stand directly in front of your mirror each morning and speak your chosen identity aloud with full conviction and authority. Speak the name and qualities of the specific person you are actively becoming right now in this present season of your life. Speak clearly and deliberately the virtues and character strengths you commit to carrying through this day. Patience when circumstances are difficult, strength when demands are heavy, resilience when unexpected setbacks arrive, bold and decisive action when clarity calls you forward. Speak the quality and the tone of energy you are choosing to bring into every room you enter and every interaction you have today. Not because these words possess magical properties, but because they provide genuine and practical direction for your mind and your behavior. Words, when spoken with real intention and consistent repetition, become sharp and powerful focus. That consistent focus shapes and gradually transforms behavior. Behavior practiced daily with full commitment becomes identity. And identity lived and expressed fully and consistently over time becomes the legacy you leave behind in this world. This morning identity decision, made faithfully before the world has had any opportunity to speak its agenda into your day, will fundamentally change the quality of how the world responds to and interacts with you throughout every hour that follows. When you walk with genuine and grounded intention, you speak and act with a natural and undeniable weight and authority. When you consistently act from your consciously chosen identity rather than from reactive emotional habit, the people around you notice and respond to this quality in you. They may not always be able to articulate precisely what they are responding to, but they feel it unmistakably. You are not easily swayed by every wind of opinion or circumstance. You are certain of yourself and your direction, and that deep and grounded certainty is one of the most powerfully magnetic qualities a human being can possess. You become through the accumulation of your daily choices, and the single most important and consequential choice available to you is who you deliberately choose to be each morning, not what you intend to do or achieve today in external terms. Not what results you are hoping to produce by the end of the day, but who you will genuinely and authentically become through the process of fully engaging with this day as your chosen self. Because all lasting and meaningful success begins from within. So speak your chosen identity with conviction each morning. Stand fully and firmly in it. Walk through your day and embody it in your actions. Let your actual behavior throughout the day confirm and reinforce the identity decision you made in the quiet of the morning. And when doubt inevitably appears at your door, as it certainly will, return immediately and without apology to your morning decision. Anchor yourself back into it with full deliberateness. Speak it aloud again with renewed conviction. Choose it again with fresh and conscious commitment. This consistent and disciplined return to chosen identity is the specific difference between wandering aimlessly through the years of your life and walking with genuine and purposeful direction toward everything you are determined to build. Wandering is aimless and expensive and ultimately deeply unsatisfying. Walking in your chosen purpose is decisive, bold, and increasingly natural, the more faithfully you practice it each morning. Genuine greatness is not something you accidentally stumble across at some fortunate moment. It is something you step into deliberately again and again, each morning through consistent and courageous choice and deep personal conviction. It is never given as a gift or inherited without effort. It is forged in the sustained heat of daily identity decisions made in the quiet moments before the world begins its noise. So before you do anything else this morning, before you answer the first incoming call, before you respond to the first message waiting for you, before you open your door to the first obligation of the day, before you consult your calendar and your task list, decide who you are. Choose deliberately to be someone genuinely worth following. Choose to be the specific version of yourself that your future self will look back on with deep grat.